Hey guys, and girls, never know who's listening. Anyways, I'm going to go with my first discussion of gay rights. Okay, so what started this is I was watching this show, What Would You Do? Basically, a reporter decided he was going to get a bunch of actors together, together a scenario, and just get the actors in public and act out the scenario, and the people who aren't actors that see the scenario going on, what would you do? And this current one was a son decided he would come out to his dad in a restaurant, and the dad, who both the son and the dad are actors, the dad goes off on his son saying that he can be cured. That being gay is a choice and that it's not okay. So I'm gonna start off with the fact that that really annoys me, because love is love. It doesn't matter what gender you are, what your sexuality is. Love is love, and everyone should be able to marry who they love and love who they love. You don't have to get married to them, but it's none of our business. I don't want to know my friends' sexual lives. If you want to tell me, go ahead. I don't care. That's none of my business to go, oh hey, who are you having sex with? Like, who do you love? That's none of my business, and it's none of anybody else's business either. If a gay man wants to have sex with another guy, that's their business. It's all how we get our pleasure. We all have our ways. People are into bondage. People like feet. We have no room to judge. We want our own pleasure, and we want to love our own people, and we want to get married to the person we love, the person we can see ourselves living forever with, the person we want to grow old with and have kids with, and like, depending on who you are. Like, some people don't want to get married, some people don't want to have kids, but it's none of our business how we get our pleasure. A gay man should be able to marry another gay man without having any issues with it from the state or any government or any person that walks on the street. Yes, it's an issue, but we shouldn't be more worried about stopping gay marriage than the homeless factor. Like, we should just put it out there. Anybody should be able to marry who they want to marry and love who they want to love. But no, we're too worried about keeping them from each other. From a lesbian woman wanting to marry a woman, a man wanting to marry a man, because people think it's gross. Really, it's none of our business. If a father disowns their child, if a mother or if a family member disowns a child because because a child comes out that they're gay, or they're a lesbian, or they're a different gender, or any of that, you should still love that child. Disowning that child, you're basically saying you should have no hope. You should kill yourself because you don't matter. And in our society, are we really willing to risk that? It shouldn't matter who we love. We should be able to marry who we want to marry. We should be able to love who we want to love. We should be able to walk down the street hand in hand. Like, we shouldn't be judged for who we are. If I want to love a girl, I should be able to love a girl. I should be able to marry that woman and be able to feel safe walking down the street, showing off that this is who I want to be with. I'm happy. If I'm happy, that's all that should matter. And really, like, we're too busy with our judgments than our happiness. We're too into ourselves, we're too selfish, we're too judgmental, and it's disgusting. Really, this society is so gross. We're too willing to get rid of what we don't like instead of just be happy for that person because they are happy. And that leads into another one of my discussions. But a man should be able to marry a man, and a woman should be able to marry a woman. It doesn't matter who they are. As long as they're happy and they're in love, they should be able to get married. And no one should have to stop them. That's why I find it so disgusting when we're so willing to judge another, because a father's so willing to judge the son that he raised and say, I don't want you in my life anymore because you like men. That's gross. That's disgusting. That's your son. Or that's your daughter. Or that's your family member or your friend. You're so willing because you're so disgusted because it's not the right thing to do. You're so willing to get rid of that person in your life that you once loved, that you once cared for. You shouldn't stop caring or loving someone just because they're gay. And I don't know. It's so gross to me. We're so willing to just get rid of someone because they're gay, because they're a lesbian, because they were born one way and they feel they're not that way. They learn that they're another. Because we're different. They're different. It makes my skin crawl every time I find someone is homophobic, and I'm just like, you know what? It may be judgmental of me to say you're disgusting, but that's because you're so willing just to put it out there that a couple can't go walking down the street because they're the same gender, holding hands or kissing. When us straight couples are able to show off our feelings for one another every day. You always see a man and a woman walking down the street holding hands and able to kiss each other and show off their PDA. But you don't see that very often. A man and a man or a woman and a woman can do that because they're so ridiculed for it, because everyone's so judgmental of it. Granted, it's getting so much better nowadays, but it's just what started it was not only the TV show, but I found out someone that I love them in some ways, but I found out they were homophobic, and it made my skin crawl, because they were just, the way they worded it, and my heart broke, because just because they're straight, if they're so willing to be able to get married with another, because it's a woman, if they're willing to get married to a man, then it should be allowed that a man should marry a man or a woman should be married to a woman. Granted, it's getting so much better and the laws are starting to happen in a lot of states, but I guess this won't drop until in every state, every country, all over the world, a man should be able to marry a man, a woman should be able to marry a woman. Love is love, no matter who we are, our skin color, our sexuality, our gender. We should be able to marry who we want to marry if we want to get married, and we should be able to love whoever we want to love. That's the way it should be.